Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the Tin Man's Corner channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'll be reacting to my final Mr. Nightmare video for you guys for this marathon. And this one's called Two True Scary Thanksgiving Black Friday Stories. I figured, since Thanksgiving will be coming in 2 weeks, I thought I'd go ahead and react to this one. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag.
My dad has always been too nice of a guy, like a pushover. I'll just start the story with that. I don't say it for no reason. We live in uptown Chicago. We don't have a huge family, so our Thanksgiving and Christmas gatherings are always small, like less than 6 people. This was Thanksgiving night of last year, 2019.
Okay.
Dinner was almost done already. My dad was picking up some last-minute foods like stuffing and cranberry sauce at the corner store.
Now that is one of my favorite side items for Thanksgiving, cranberry sauce. How many of you guys like cranberry sauce too? Let me know down in the comments. Or what is your favorite Thanksgiving side item?
Since we didn't have any. My mom and I started setting the table, while my brother and grandparents sat at the table. My dad finally returned, but with more than just stuffing and cranberry sauce, though. He brought someone along with him. It was this middle-aged, dirty-looking man in a green puffer jacket and black pants. He looked homeless. My dad introduced the man as Stefan, and said he would be joining us for dinner tonight. My brother and I exchanged surprised, uncomfortable looks. Then my mom and I did the same. As my dad started preparing the stuffing, he was telling us how he met Stefan alone in the cold streets, and said we as a Christian family should do the right thing and invite him into dinner, as no one should be alone on Thanksgiving.
I will agree with you on that point, but you don't know if that guy is a mentally ill person.
My grandma invited the man to sit with us. I could tell my mom wasn't comfortable with this, as she whispered stuff in my dad's ear. Too late now, though. The man was already seated at the table. Good thing I didn't sit next to him, because I could smell his clothes from across the table. I didn't understand what my dad was thinking with this. When all the food was finally on the table, everyone sat down and we did our prayer. My brother and grandma attempted to hold hands with Stefan, but he didn't grab their hands back. I low-key watched him as we all prayed, and he just sat there, his eyes bulgingly wide, his mouth not moving. He just sat there like he didn't want to be there. After the prayer, we all began to eat, and at least 3 of my family members tried talking to him at some point. He didn't seem friendly at all, though. His responses were very dry and one-wordish. It made the dinner a little uncomfortable. I didn't know what my dad saw in this man or why he felt comfortable bringing him into our home. I get trying to help the needy, but there was another way to do it than this. He helped himself to some food, but even the way he ate was really messy. Like his fingers were really greasy, some food got in his hair. It wasn't pleasant to watch.
Yeah, I'll be trying to get somebody like this to go to a homeless shelter or something. Not trying to be mean or anything, but yeah, if they look like they haven't took a bath, I don't know if I would take them home to my loved ones. They probably say a bunch of stuff to me about bringing someone like that in my house.
Now you may think I'm just trash-talking a homeless person, so let's move past that. Eventually Stefan said, "Excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom." My dad pointed him in the direction of the bathroom, which was down the half flight of stairs down the hall to the left. He got up, not saying thank you, and followed the directions. Once we were sure he was out of earshot, my mom and grandparents started asking questions like what the hell is wrong with my dad bringing that man in here? My dad whispered that he felt terrible and wanted to do something right. My mom questioned how we were going to get him out of here now. My dad insisted that we were being good people, though, and that we'd agree eventually. We continued eating, till my brother asked, "Where is he? He's been gone a while." We all agreed it was strange, so my dad went down the stairs to the bathroom to look. He came back up a few seconds later saying he wasn't in the bathroom. My grandma's looked very distressed as my grandpa started cursing in Italian. My brother, my dad, and I started checking the whole apartment. My dad was calling Stefan's name the whole time. We checked all the bedrooms, all the closets. Somehow he wasn't anywhere. However, the window in my parents' room was open, enough for someone to climb through. So we assumed the obvious. My mom came in yelling at my dad that this is what happens for him being stupid and letting a potentially dangerous person into our home. We all had to agree, sadly. My dad closed the window, and we tried to go about the rest of our dinner normally. But of course, the whole time we talked about the bizarre encounter. After dinner, we had dessert. Then eventually my grandparents left. The four of us cleaned up the table and dishes. And a couple hours later, everyone dispersed to their rooms for bed.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'll agree with the mom and the kids on this one. Be like, you shouldn't have brought a stranger into the house because you never know if he's gonna just like rudely leave or steal something. You never know.
I'm being very loose with the time frame because this was almost a year ago, but I believe it was another hour later that I finally turned off my TV for bed. The silence in the room allowed me to hear it. The breathing. I heard it in my room. Not my breathing. I was frozen stiff. I didn't even want to move or sit up. I didn't know where exactly in the room it was coming from. I just looked for the door to my room, trying to sum up the courage to run. I heard the faintest shuffling sounds, like of the fabric of a jacket, and I heard, almost in my ear, shh, and a hand pressed down on my neck. That's when the scream I'd been building up exploded out of my mouth as I literally sprang out from the bed and into the hall, calling for my dad.
Okay, he did not steal nothing. He was just hiding, being a creep.
Everyone came out from their rooms and looked down the hall toward my room when I said Stefan's in there. Shockingly, Stefan stepped out from my room, looked at us, and walked out the front door as my dad yelled at him to get out. Of course, without getting physical because he's a big softie. Stefan was long gone by the time police finally showed up. The police said the important thing was that he left and none of us were hurt, and now just to make sure to lock the door and windows. They took our description of Stefan and they left. I like to think my dad learned his lesson from that. You can't trust everyone you meet.
True. I hate to imagine what he would have done to that boy if he had screamed, but yeah, this is why you don't take strangers into your home. I mean, you never know if they were going to go in there and either steal something or possibly hide to wait until you all go to bed and murder you. You never know. But lesson learned, I ain't bringing no stranger into my house on Thanksgiving.
For Black Friday a few years ago, I went to Best Buy. Well, technically it was midnight the night before Black Friday. My local Best Buy is always open late the night before Black Friday. I went with my best friend Taylor to look for a new laptop and maybe whatever other stuff caught my eye. We split off to look for our own things. While browsing the laptop section, someone in a blue Best Buy shirt approached me asking if I needed help. I gave him specific specs I was interested in, and he started looking around with me. He showed me one laptop he claimed he really liked, then asked me what it was I'd be doing with the laptop. I found it to be a slightly odd question, but maybe it was part of his sales pitch. I said just for school and general web browsing kind of deal. After this point, though, he seemed more interested in me rather than helping me. Like, he was asking a bunch of personal questions, like where I'm from, where I go to school, etc. I don't want to sound self-absorbed, but I do get a decent amount of male attraction when I go out. Anyway, I started realizing he seemed to be hitting on me. I found him overall creepy, so I reminded him politely about the laptop and that I was in a hurry.
Yeah, there you go. Try to change the subject because that's already throwing out some red flags for me right there. One, you don't give out, personal information to a stranger at a store. And two, you should not know if you're single or not. I mean, that's not his business. And plus, if he's a tad bit older than you, then yeah, that's a little bit weird.
He was relentless, though. He actually asked for my phone number after that. I made it clear to him I was uninterested.
There you go.
Luckily, I locked eyes with Taylor, who happened to be walking over, and I mouthed the word help to her. She understood, and she came over and called my name, saying, "Come in, hurry." I said, "Sorry, I have to go," to the creepy guy, and followed Taylor away.
Thank you to the friend. Glad she was able to see that you were in distress, but also that gives you a good excuse to leave.
We walked to the other side of the store. I told her I didn't want to see that guy again. He was obsessive and creepy and didn't get the hints. We left the store after that with plans of going shopping elsewhere tomorrow. We were both starving though, so we went to the nearby diner, which is open 24/7. We sat at a booth and looked at the menu. The place was practically empty at this hour, except for a lone man sitting at the bar, seemingly looking at the menu as well. His back was to me. I didn't notice him there 5 minutes earlier. He was in a gray jacket, but I recognized his hair. I whispered to Taylor to look at him. As we looked at him, he tried to subtly turn to look at us, but when he realized we were already staring, he looked away. It was him, the Best Buy worker. "Oh my God, he followed us," I whispered. "Let's go," I said, and we got up and left the diner. We hurried to my car, and I drove us home to my house as fast as I could. Taylor was sleeping over that night. To put it short, eventually there were 3 slow knocks on the living room window.
That was the worst thing you could have done right there. I know you're trying to get away from him, but if you see a car or anything in your rearview mirror keep following you, that might be the person that was stalking you earlier at Best Buy and at the diner. So you would need to either A, call the cops, or B, just go on a bunch of random streets until you lose him and then go. I figured he was going to follow him home.
We both shrieked and didn't know what to do. "My apartment is on the bottom floor. It's him," we kept saying. We went to the window, but oddly couldn't see outside, like total blackness. The view outside was blocked. We were too creeped out. We had to call the cops. When we got a knock on the door from police, we immediately felt safer. So it turned out the reason we couldn't see out the window is because a shirt was hung over the window, blocking view in or outside. Not just any shirt, a blue Best Buy shirt. Pinned to the shirt was a Post-it note that said, "I don't work at Best Buy, bitch." So the police
you
recommended
sucker.
file a harassment charge. But the problem was I didn't know his name or who it was. They said I could get a lawyer and get the surveillance footage from Best Buy to find the guy, but it sounded like a lot of work. I let it go, but I stayed at Taylor's apartment for a few days.
A lot of work? Lady, if you get a lawyer to get, permission from Best Buy to get footage of the security camera, then you'll know who the guy is. I bet you that guy must have snuck in the Best Buy, went into the employees lounge or something and stole the shirt and acted like a employee just so he can hit on girls.
I still can't believe that guy followed us all the way to my house. Some people are dangerously crazy.
Yep, you ain't lying. There are a bunch of crazy people out there. But anyway, that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this final video for this Mr. Nightmare Marathon. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man's Corner channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and I said that's a wrap, and have a nice day, y'all.